We're back with our MLB Best Bets here on the channel. We are out of the All-Star break, and it is Friday, July 18th. We've got all 30 teams playing today in Major League Baseball, and we've got our 5 best bets for this slate. Now, before we get into the video, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. We are now starting a great stretch with all sports now, of course, here on the channel. We are a month away now from college football. The NFL starts shortly after. Then comes the NBA and college basketball, all with the MLB still in play as well. So we're going to have a lot of stuff coming up on the channel, so make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Before we get into things here, make sure to check out Greedo Plays MMA. Our UFC 318 predictions are up on that channel. Dustin the Diamond Poirier's final fight against Max Blessed Holloway, and PFL Africa predictions as well. Costello Vancina's challenges for the Bellator middleweight championship against Johnny Eblen. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets. We got to get things going with the early matchup, right? In Chicago, Wrigley Field, the Chicago Cubs take on the Boston Red Sox. I am going with the Red Sox. And oh, by the way, no player prop today. I don't know why, for some reason right now. I'm recording this video a little bit early at 8:30 Pacific time on Thursday night. I don't know why there's hardly any player prop odds. There were some for some pitchers, nothing I liked, so I'm just going to do 3 money lines instead. Okay, first best bet, we got to get things going with the early game. At 11 o'clock, at least here on the West Coast in Chicago, Red Sox, Cubs, give me the Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox still have not lost since going to the White House. It was kind of odd that they went to the White House when they went to go play the Washington Nationals. Well, they haven't lost a game since then. They were going into Washington off of a loss. Since the 4th of July, this team has not lost a baseball game. They are now winners of 10 in a row. They will take that 10-game winning streak into Chicago to take on the Cubs, and I think they're going to get this. I really think they are. This is a team that's coming off a sweep over, in all fairness, the Nationals and the Rockies, but a really good 4-game sweep against the Tampa Bay Rays. They get the Cubs today, and Colin Rie is pitching for Chicago, who's been better in his last 2 starts. Don't get me wrong. On the 4th of July against the Cardinals, he goes 6 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run. Against the Twins, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run as well. But this is still a guy on the season with a 3.91 ERA, which is serviceable. But look, 4 starts ago against the Seattle Mariners in late June, 5 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 7 runs. He is susceptible of just getting blown out or getting blown up in some of these starts. I like the Boston lineup. They've been performing really well recently, obviously, with the big 10-game winning streak. I got to see it, obviously, a lot in that Nationals series where it was just tough to find out. Bregman's obviously back now. Trevor Story's in the ball really well right now. Duran, Roman Anthony, they've just got guys in the lineup. And I'm not saying, again, it was the best move for them to trade Rafael Devers. I mean, maybe, I guess going forward in terms of, locker room presence and whatnot, but the Red Sox have been drastically better since the Devers trade compared to the San Francisco Giants. And the Giants are the one who got Devers, and a lot of people thought that they won the trade, and how couldn't you think that, honestly? But Boston's playing great baseball. They're 8 games over 500 now. Over 500 right now. They are in that loaded American League East, obviously, with the first place Toronto Blue Jays, the New York Yankees, and of course the Tampa Bay Rays, who are also over 500. And then I guess the Orioles are there too. But I look at the matchup today, pitching-wise. Okay, Lucas Giolito's throwing the ball really well. All right, Lucas Giolito coming off his last start. I know it's against the Rockies. 6 shutout innings against Colorado, only 4 hits. Against the Nats, he goes 7 2/3 innings. And again, going into the 8th, 4 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks. Against the Toronto Blue Jays, a really good team, Giolito goes 7 shutout innings, at least, 0 earned runs. There was 1 run given up. But Giolito's been much better since his starts in May. In the month of June, 3.04 ERA for Giolito. And so far, with 2 starts in the month of July, Giolito has a .66 ERA, again, bringing the entire year ERA down to 3.36. Doesn't mean much because, again, pitching records cannot dictate how good a pitcher is. Look at Paul Skeens, look at Mackenzie Gore. However, Giolito is 6-1, gives you a good idea of what Boston's doing around him in terms of getting him run support, and Giolito's been doing his job for the most part as well. I know the Cubs lineup is good. Don't get me wrong. Before the break, they were coming off winning 2 of 3 in the Bronx against the New York Yankees. This is still a very loaded team with guys like Kyle Tucker, like PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, with Isaiah Suzuki. Carson Kelly's having a career season right now. I think Boston's playing better baseball right now. And again, I know there was the All-Star break. I'm taking the Red Sox to continue the win streak. And also, I look at the pitching matchup, and I do think it's one that favors Boston. Giolito's throwing the ball really well. Not to say that Colin Rie isn't, because his last 2 starts have been very good as well. I just like what Boston's been building with their bats, and I think Giolito's doing a good enough job for them at the same time. I get it, the games in Chicago should be a packed house at Wrigley Field with a Friday afternoon game. Baseball's back, but I do believe the Boston Red Sox are going to go on the road and pick up the victory. Giolito, I think, is going to give us 6 good innings, and I do think the Red Sox get to Colin Rea before the Cubs get to Giolito. It's going to be Boston Red Sox money line. They are underdogs in the spot, coming off 10 consecutive wins, plus 110 for the Boston Red Sox on the road at Wrigley Field against the Chicago Cubs. Let's move on to our second best bet of the video. It is our daily Nerfy, and we are going to maybe and probably the least watched matchup today at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Chicago White Sox take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. I am giving you reason to actually pay attention to this baseball game, and that wasn't the purpose, obviously, of the best bet. But anyways, I don't think a run scored in the first here. I don't think so. Bailey Falter's pitching for Pittsburgh, 3.79 ERA. Falter has been not great recently. Had a really good month of May, a sub-1 ERA in the month of May over 6 starts. June was rough for him. July so far has been rough as well. However, the Chicago White Sox bats are going to be hitting off of Bailey Falter. You know, it's nothing I'm too concerned about. Jonathan Cannon is going for the White Sox. Cannon quietly has been pretty good recently. Was out for about a month, came back. His latest 3 starts have just been all right. They built him back up slowly in that Giants game where he only went 3 innings. Against the Rockies, 5 1/3, 8 hits, 2 runs. Guardians start last Friday, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs again against Cleveland. I think Cannon's done a decent enough job, but the reason why we're picking the Nerfy today in Pittsburgh is not because of Cannon, it's not because of Falter, it's because of the 2 lineups. 2 of the worst lineups in all of baseball. The Pittsburgh Pirates may be the worst lineup in all of baseball. Usually, and even on the bad teams, right? Look at the Washington Nationals. There's CJ Abrams. There's James Wood. There are guys at the top of the lineup where even if you pick a Nerfy, you're like, okay, well, what if Wood gets a hold of one, right? Again, even the bottom of the barrel squads. The Pirates don't have anybody like that. They don't. Spencer Horwitz, Andrew McCutchen. I appreciate what McCutchen's done for the game. He's probably still their best hitter, but not a guy who's going to put one over the fence, right? If McCutchen's going to get on, it's going to be a line drive up the middle, right? Brian Reynolds, who, historically has been a good hitter throughout his career. He's a 225 hitter, though, this season. And then if we get into the 5 and the 6, or the 4 and the 5, we get Nick Gonzalez and Tommy Pham. No one we're scared of. So I think Jonathan Cannon's going to be more than fine against a mediocre Pittsburgh Pirates lineup. There's a reason they never win starts, or they never win games that Paul Skeens starts, right? Because look at the guys they're putting behind him, right? IKF, low-key, might be their best hitter. He had a hot series in Minnesota against the Twins, closing that series on Sunday, going 4 for 4 against Minnesota. He's got the average up to 275. I wouldn't be surprised. I know it's IKF, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Pirates come out the All-Star break batting Kiner Falefa in the leadoff spot. Maybe they should, honestly. Just how bad this lineup is. Henry Davis, Key Brian Hayes. They're starting Jack Sawinski again. O'Neal Cruz is obviously in there as well, but man, not like Cruz is batting in the 1 or the 2 right now. He's been batting more in the 5-6 spot. And average is way down for O'Neal. He's batting 210. I look at, again, what the White Sox have got. Well, nothing we're really concerned about either. I guess their top of the lineup is better, right? Meridroth. I always butcher his name because it looks like it's spelled Meredith. It's Meridroth, I believe. Batting 243. He was involved in the Garrett Crochet trade. Good hitter, but not a guy, again, we're too concerned about. Austin Slater can mash against left-handed pitching, which we are going to see here. I mean, if you watch that White Sox-Dodgers game, the one where Kershaw got his 3,000 strikeouts, right? Austin Slater hit 2 moonshots over Kershaw, and again, Slater's really just slotted against left-handed arms, so we are going to see him today against Bailey Falter, so there's a little bit of a concern. And then Edgar Cuero, and then potentially Benintendi probably against the lefty, probably not him. Luis Robert is probably going to be in the 5 or in the 4. Miguel Vargas. I'm not too concerned. Our biggest concern is Austin Slater. It really is. Right. If we can get past Slater, I do believe we're going to be fine, and I think we're going to get the 6 outs. Falter, I know he struggled. I think the pitcher that has been, working with more momentum recently, undoubtedly, I would say, is Jonathan Cannon. Since he's come back to the bigs, right? He was, again, out for a month since he's come back. His last 3 starts, limited spot in the Giants one, but he's been pretty solid. Bailey Falter, right, we detailed it. Very good in the month of May. ERA in the month of May was .76 over 6 starts. You can't ask for a better month out of a pitcher right there. June was pretty bad, 5.14 ERA so far in the month of July, 5.234 Bailey Falter. However, he's going from, dealing with, in his last 5 starts, Tigers, Rangers, Mets, Mariners, Royals, to the White Sox. And I get it. The Mariners, Royals, and Rangers have all gone through their stretches this season of having complete, cold streaks at the plate. The Chicago White Sox arguably are always on a cold streak. And now it is the much tougher spot in this game, right? I'm going to be more concerned about the top half of the first inning than the bottom half of the first because I know how bad the Pirates offense is. I think we're going to be okay. I believe Bailey Falter and Jonathan Cannon are going to go out here and get us 6 outs. This one is priced at -125 from PNC Park. Chicago and the Pirates, Cannon, Falter, go out there and get us 6 outs. We move on to our next bet. It is our Washington Nationals best bet of the day. And yes, I am picking against the Nats. Okay, I'm done coming on here and, trying to pump up Mike Soroka. I've been a Mike Soroka believer all year long, all right? I truly have been a believer. I can't believe anymore, okay? I just can't. He's going to get us something at the deadline. It's not going to be anything of note. The Nationals, when was the last time they won a game that Soroka started? Friday, June 6th. They've lost 6 straight games with Soroka on the mound. He was good in the month of June. He was. But his first 2 starts in July have been absolutely atrocious. Against the Boston Red Sox on the 4th of July, this guy goes 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs. And then in St. Louis, the Thursday after, was that Cairo's first game? I think it was. Yeah, it was first game post-Davey firing. No, they fired Davey over the weekend. Anyways, No, this was getaway day. Excuse me. But anyways, Cairo's first game was Tuesday. Regardless, Soroka goes 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, again, gets chased out of there after the 4th because he had 91 pitches through 4 innings. Oh. So, again, I don't know what Soroka is going to field the Nationals. It will probably be like some AA product who's like some org's 22nd best prospect. And sure, again, I'll take anything at this point from Mike Soroka. We know he's not re-signing, and honestly, he's a much better reliever at this point in his career post-injuries than he is a starter. And I assume, again, his role on a postseason team will be out the bullpen. I'm sorry, Mike, I can't believe here. I can't. The team total over today for the San Diego Padres is 4.5 runs. I think they're going over. The Nationals have the worst bullpen in baseball. One of the worst bullpens in baseball. The Angels, the Rockies. I kind of feel like it's the Nationals most of the time. Brad Lord and Kyle Finnegan are holding it down for the most part. I know Finnegan got blown up in Milwaukee right before the break. It is what it is, right? Finnegan probably being moved, but maybe not. I don't know. San Diego's lineup's good, and they're taking on Soroka, and I get it. Oh, the Padres' bottom of their lineup sucks, and it does. We've been over this a million times with San Diego because I feel like over the last month and a half, I've taken Padres money line more than I've taken any other bet here on the channel. And so there is, Edwin Diaz at the bottom of the lineup. For some reason, that last game on Sunday before the break, we had Philadelphia Phillies money line, and it cashed in a 2-1 game on Sunday against the Padres. So I was happy the Phillies won. I was watching that game, and I was like, why is Luis Campusano DHing? And I still don't know the answer to that. Because I know San Diego, they've carried 3 catchers this season at times, right? They've got Edwin Diaz, they got Martin Maldonado. Neither of those guys can hit, and they also got Luis Campusano, another guy who can't hit. And so I don't know why Campusano, who again is really struggling at the plate and has always struggled at the plate at the major league level, why is he your designated hitter? I don't know, that move made 0 sense for me anyway. He went 0 for 3, but right, you look at that game, San Diego, Xander Bogaerts, he did have 2 hits on Sunday, but 7 times out of 10, Xander Bogaerts is an automatic out. Well, as you can make the case for literally any MLB player. In 7 out of 10 games Xander Bogaerts plays, he's going over, okay? So you take Bogaerts away, Merrill's ice cold, he's been in a slump for the last 3 weeks. Really, you have 3 hitters on this Padres team. Tatis, Arraez, Machado, okay? And then some nights you get production, Gavin Sheets, you have 4. Right? And then some nights you get Merrill, some nights you get Bogaerts. But then you're throwing away outs with Luis Campusano, Jose Iglesias / Jake Cronenworth, Ben Johnson / Tyler Wade / Lockridge, and then Edwin Diaz / Martin Maldonado. I know not all those guys are actually on the major league level right now. That's fine. Here's the thing though, guys. They haven't gotten to face the Washington Nationals in a while. They're going to dominate the Nationals. I just know how this works, okay? The Padres, unfortunately, have the Nationals number. I hate that that's the case, But we saw it last year at Petco. We saw it with the Keminara grand slam hit off of Max Scherzer that essentially ended the Nationals' window of winning back in 2021 and have sent us down this downward spiral that we're still on and probably going to continue to rebuild now into the 2030s. But the Padres will probably see a lot of success against Soroka. They just will, you know. The top of the order gets going, right? And they put pressure on a guy like Soroka. Then that's when the bottom and just the mid and bad part of San Diego's lineup gets going. That's when, a Jake Cronenworth finds a gap. That's when Ben Johnson puts the ball on the ground and he beats it out on an infield single. That's when you do get production out of Martin Maldonado, who had a home run in his last game against the Washington Nationals, right? I just know the Nationals too well. They're going to screw this up. At least pitching-wise, we're going to screw this up. And I'm not even going to get into the money line side of things. I mean, Dylan Cease is pitching. Cease has just been kind of mid this season. I can't wait for him to be elite tonight against the Nationals, okay? The Nationals, they're in a disgusting, just point of their rebuild. They're absolutely atrocious. I hate being a fan, but I am, and I'm not going to stop, obviously. I just watch at this point for James Wood. And please, when is Dylan Cruz coming back? I thought Cruz was going to be back right now, but he's not. So I'm taking San Diego team total over 4.5. Obviously, they need 5. I think they're going to get 4 runs off of Soroka, and that means they just need to get 1 out the bad bullpen of the Nationals. You're going to see a guy like Luis Garcia, the 38-year-old Luis Garcia, who throws hard, but throws meatballs. You're going to see a Jackson Rutledge is down now, I believe, right? No, Rutledge is still, no, they sent Rutledge down, I believe. You're going to see a guy like Luis Garcia. You're going to see Andrew Chafin, who, will put guys on the corners and he'll spike a slider in the dirt and someone's going to score on a passed ball, right? It's just on a wild pitch. Whatever. I don't care about Nationals baseball anymore. I do. I still watch, but it pisses me off, man. San Diego team total over 4.5 runs minus 120. Okay. 4th best bet of the video. Yes, a lot of games here in the early slate. Early time slot. We do have a best bet for the nightcap game. Not the Dodgers Brewers. We'll get to the other one in a second. But I like this money line a lot. Okay, we fade the San Francisco Giants when Unk pitches. Okay, like I said about Andrew McCutchen, I'm really not like McCutchen. I was just praising him because he's been a legend, and JV's a legend too. The difference between Justin Verlander and Andrew McCutchen is McCutchen actually contributes to his baseball team in Pittsburgh and arguably is one of their best hitters. Justin Verlander offers nothing for the San Francisco Giants, okay? I don't know why Unk is still pitching. I don't know, again, why is Unk going still? Verlander gets to pitch in Canada, same location in which he pitched a no-hitter for the Houston Astros. They're not beating the Blue Jays today. Hell no. Chris Bassett's going for Toronto, and I get it. Bassett has been more than a mixed bag. His last start, though, albeit against the White Sox, he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. Okay, ERA in the month of July so far for Bassett's 2.84. He was really bad in the months of May and June. ERAs of 5.06 and 5.46 in both those months, respectively. And then back in April, posted a 2.86 ERA. Again, it's an unction tonight, right? Unk versus Unk. Bassett versus JV. JV, though, much older than Chris Bassett. It's very rare that you see Bassett being the younger pitcher in a matchup, but Bassett's 36, JV is 42. And the San Francisco Giants are still yet to win a game, or I guess Justin Verlander is still yet to win a game as a member of the San Francisco Giants. I made this decision when I watched him pitch on the 4th of July in Sacramento against the A's, when he absolutely laid the biggest egg I've ever seen. We are automatically fading Justin Verlander every chance we get. He didn't even get that blown up in his last start at home against the Philadelphia Phillies. His team still lost, though, right? He was the precursor to a 13-0 loss at Oracle against Philadelphia. So JV's ERA is up to 4.7 this season. Again, wins and losses don't always mean everything, but if you're 0-7 and a 4.7 ERA, okay, now your record actually does mean something. Verlander, I'll give him something, like his control's still there for the most part. He's not going to walk you. He's just going to give you very hittable pitches. And the Toronto Blue Jays should be able to capitalize this entire game. I know they're coming off a series loss against the Athletics. I don't know if they're still in first place in the division or the Yankees right now. It might be New York again. No, it's still Toronto. Toronto's 14 over. The Yankees are 10. Anyways, the Blue Jays before the break did lose a series to the Athletics, right? They went to Sacramento. I believe they won the first game that Scherzer pitched, and then they lost on Saturday and Sunday. That's okay. It is what it is, right? The A's at their best can be tough. They're a sneaky, decent team sometimes, and then other nights nobody can get a hit and their pitching's atrocious, right? When the A's have good pitchers going, they're not bad, right? This Toronto lineup, though, is just going to feast on Justin Verlander, and that's really the simplest way I can put this. I mean, I look at 1 through 6 in this lineup should absolutely dominate. Clement, Bichette, Guerrero, Alejandro Kirk, who's batting 303 this season, Barger. I mean, that should be just dominance. Oh, and George Springer, obviously, in there as well. These guys should absolutely beat the living shit out of Justin Verlander. Okay? Unk's fastball, he doesn't got, like, it's literally the definition of not having your fastball anymore. That's what Justin Verlander is in the big 2025, okay? Bassett, am I overly impressed? No, I'm not, right? I'm not going into this game thinking, okay, I think we're going to get a Chris Bassett 7-inning shutdown game. However, if there's ever a team where Bassett would look really good, it is the Giants. The Giants lineup, and they go through their weird stretches where they do not know how to hit a baseball. Devers has been underwhelming, and right, I assume he's going to be a lot better. Buster Posey just went on a radio show and a talk show and told Giants fans to give Devers time to get acclimated to San Francisco. While that is fair, the Giants right now are in the midst of a playoff push. They need Devers to be good, right? Willy Adames doesn't perform unless he's playing in Sacramento, so not a problem. Elliot Ramos is their best guy, but when Ramos isn't on, you know, Matt Chapman has not been great post-injury, and the bottom of the lineup is just atrocious. Guys, Jung-Hoo Lee went from being considered to be a guy who's going to play in the All-Star game this season to just an automatic out at the bottom of the lineup. Patrick Bailey is kind of an automatic out. I know he had the walk-off inside the park home run, but regardless, though, they just have too many automatic outs. Mike Yastrzemski's having a good year. Ramos as a whole is having a good year. Other than that, who's having a good year on the Giants hitting-wise? It's their pitching that carries them. The problem with tonight's game up in Canada is that their pitching can't carry them. Sure, their bullpen's still great, right? You've got amazing arms there. I mean, you know, Randy Rodriguez, Camilo Doval still having a really good year, right? Those just a couple to name to say the least, right? I mean, you know, you still got Ryan Walker, who's been okay, right? They've got Tyler Rogers. They've got good guys. That's what I'm trying to get to. The problem with the Giants tonight, though, against the Blue Jays is that their pitching can't carry them because they have a 42-year-old Justin Verlander on the mound and Unk, who hasn't pitched well this season just yet. Give me the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm taking the American League East leading Jays to win this one at home against the San Francisco Giants. Really surprised at these odds, too. I guess they're just... Vegas is looking at Bassett and saying, okay, we're not impressed, which I understand, but give me Toronto. Moving on to our final best bet of the video, let's go to T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington, as we have the Seattle Mariners taking on the Houston Astros. I'm going Seattle Mariners money line. It has been a long-running thing this season. We've been cursed picking for or against the Seattle Mariners. I'm taking the Mariners, though, right now. I think the All-Star break was much needed for Houston. This is a team that's still 16 games over 500. They have lost 5 out their last 6 games, and still they hold a huge lead in the American League West. This series, though, this weekend series played in Seattle between the Mariners and Astros, is really going to dictate and just set the tone for the rest of the season, at least here in the American League West, right? The Rangers are playing better, but I mean, does anyone see the Rangers as a serious threat to win the division? No, they're still a game under. The Angels played decent ball this year, but they're not a playoff team, and the A's are the A's, right? The Mariners are the only contender for Houston in the division. They're, 5 games back? The Mariners need to win this series and tell Houston, okay, we're still around, right? That's the message they need to send. I think, again, the All-Star break came at the right time for the Astros. They were struggling. They got swept at home against the Guardians, and they lost 2 of 3 at home to the Texas Rangers. So they really needed that break after somehow they went on the road and swept the Dodgers. Not all that unsurprisingly, but anyways, those are really good series for the Stros. I think the Mariners get them tonight. And this isn't just based off the fact that, okay, Seattle was playing decent ball before the break, right? Actually, really good ball. They swept the Detroit Tigers. And the fact that, Houston got swept. No. It is that, but it's also the pitching matchup, man. I don't think Brandon Walter's that good. Brandon Walter's advanced metrics do not show anything special. They just don't, from what I've seen. I watched his worst start of the year so far when he went to Anaheim against the Angels. I mean, I was at that game and he got completely blown up. Came back, pitched well against the Cubs, but then got blown up against the Rockies, then did all right in his last start in a loss against the Cleveland Guardians. But the Astros at the same time just don't win when Walter pitches. Even when he's pitching well, they don't get him run support. So the trend this season for Houston hasn't been all that great when the Delaware native has gone on the mound for them. And I think in Seattle, the Mariners are in a good spot tonight, right? We have gone through this lineup's troubles. However, that series in Detroit was the best series I've seen the Mariners play this season. They scored 12 runs on Friday night. They scored 15 on Saturday, and they scored 8 on Sunday. I mean, absolutely huge stuff. They scored 35 runs in 27 innings for the Mariners, a team where that's thing has been for the last so many years. Oh, they have amazing pitching, but their bats just suck. Well, their pitching was still decent in Detroit, but the bats actually got going as well. And that's so huge. You know, if they can get production out of Julio Rodriguez, who is somehow an all-star. Cal Raleigh's the best power hitter in the sport right now, right? Guys hit 37 home runs already? It's insane. Now he's coming off of winning the home run derby as well in Atlanta. This team's got momentum. Arozarena's hitting the ball well right now, too, which I can't believe I'm saying. J.P. Crawford's batting .290 in the leadoff spot. You parlay all of that with the fact that Luis Castillo's going tonight, and it seems like it's a Mariners victory. Castillo so far this season, the 32-year-old's posting a 3.41 ERA, coming off a start against the Detroit Tigers, where he was serviceable, but man, the 2 starts before that against the Pirates and the Rangers in Texas, 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 run against the Pirates, a 7-inning shutdown of the Pirates, and I understand that's not the toughest to do. We have detailed the Pirates' struggles like we did earlier in the video. However, though, got to give Castillo credit. 7 innings of shutout baseball on July 5th against Pittsburgh, and then a good start in a game where his team won on Friday against a good lineup in the Detroit Tigers. So I got to take Seattle right now. Again, they're playing with all the momentum in the world. They've got a guy in Cal Raleigh who, I'm not going to say he's at his peak in terms of popularity, but right now in baseball, everyone knows who Cal Raleigh is, right? Second most home runs before the All-Star break in MLB history, only behind Barry Bonds. He then proceeds to win the home run derby as well. You have him. You've got Julio, who seems like he's on the right track. I don't know. We'll see. Arozarena, same thing. I kind of like Seattle right now. They are 5 games back at Houston. You got to understand as well the importance of this series. The Mariners get it at home. They're trailing Houston by 5 games. I'm not saying they're going to sweep the Astros, but if they can, then you all of a sudden put yourself in a spot where you're only 2 games back of the division lead in the month of July. I mean, this is the spot Seattle wants to be in if they can close the gap in this series. 100% they have to win the series. The question should be, can they sweep? Obviously, way easier said than done, but tonight's the start of it, and I think it's huge that the Mariners at least, send a message in game 1 of this 3-game set. I'm going Seattle Mariners money line at home against the Houston Astros, -125 to get it done. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for July 18th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.